What's going on, you guys? Today I'm going to be bringing you a video on the Alpha Beast 3.0 Alt Blade versus the Kinfong replica or clone, however you want to say it. This one does not have any BRS markings on it. Just one thing to keep in mind. But yeah, I'm going to be bringing you guys a video on just kind of comparing them today. I've had the Kinfong for a little over a year. I got it before I wanted to revamp the channel. Meant to do a video on it, never did. Then the actual Alpha Beast I got just a couple weeks ago from the recent drop. But got a couple questions on how they compare, so I actually have a caliper with me today, and I'm going to try to make sure that you guys can see everything going on. I'm kind of at a weird angle, so there you guys can see it is zeroed in, and yeah, we'll go ahead and kind of start looking at the specs. So I'm going to start with the Alpha Beast handle thickness, and we are going to be looking at about 0.51 for the handle thickness, and keep in mind this is in inches. Then 0.48 for the handle thickness of the clone. So the clone's a little smaller when it comes to actual handle thickness, and you can feel that whenever you're flipping it. We'll go to the actual blade thickness. Now the blade seal on the Alpha Beast is, see, 0.14 when it comes to thickness, but it is 154 cm. This one claimed to be 154 cm, but I'm not really too sure about that one. So this one is 0.145. How much was that again? 0.145. So it seems to be that they are right at about the same length. Sorry about that, I dropped it on it, forgive me. When it comes to the blade thickness, now we'll check the actual handle length. So when it comes to the actual handle length, we are looking at 5.45. So 5.45, and the clone is 5.4595. So right at about 5.45. So they're actually pretty close. I don't have a scale with me. I wish I did, but one thing I can say, sorry about that, guys, I knocked over the camera. I don't have a scale with me today, but one thing I can definitely say is that the actual Alpha Beast feels a little heavier, but it feels a little heavier in the right spaces, because whenever you flip it, you can really tell this one tends to flip a little better. The actual thickness on the inside of the handles, inside of the scales, so 0.1535, and then 0.1660. And you guys can kind of tell, I don't know if you can see that on the video or not, but whenever you're flipping it, this one definitely feels like a little wider, but honestly I think it flips better. So yeah, now that I've showed you guys kind of the specs, let's go ahead and go into the sound test. Guys, I forgot to mention that when it comes to the hardware quality, in terms of the actual screws for the pivots and everything, the actual BRS Alpha Beast has the clone beat by a landslide. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it in this video, but the actual Alpha Beast has, you can see where the screws are machined. Never had a problem with any of these stripping. With the clone, I have stripped one of these before, and just the overall fit and finish quality of the screws, you can kind of tell it's lacking. Alright guys, we are now in my front yard, and I wanted to take this outside so you guys could kind of hear them better. What I want to do, I'm going to black the screen, and I want you guys to comment down below which one you think is the real and which one is the clone. So it's going to go ahead and go black. Alright, so this is number 1. Alright. And here is number 2. Alright, comment down below which one you guys thought was the real one. Here's which ones they actually are. So I think in a sound test you can actually hear that the real one is actually much higher quality in terms of just material and everything. You can feel it in the weight, but then also just the sound. whenever it hits the tank pins, you can really hear it. The clone, you can't really hear it too well, but it's almost kind of spongy compared to the real one. It's right here is side by side again. Here's the clone. And here is the real one. So my favorite of the two is definitely the real one. Before, I thought that the fake one was actually pretty good quality, and it has held up decent over time. It does have a little bit of tap. Does have a little bit of tap. You guys can probably hear that. It does run off of bushings and washers, same with the actual Alpha Beast. However, just the tolerances on the actual Alpha Beast makes it to where it has no tap. Any tap you hear is the actual handles coming together. Now, one thing I will say, it was kind of a pain taking off the latch of the actual Alpha Beast, but once you get it off, it sounds so much better. And here is the clone. Alright guys, one sound test I actually forgot to do was just kind of popping the handles up. So you guys can kind of hear how solid it is. Then with the clone, you can just tell there's more rattle to it. The bushings aren't done as proper. Just overall, it's just kind of a less quality knife.